Monday, a bipartisan energy bill that should have easily passed the Senate fell victim to more politically motivated Washington nonsense. The bill, which would have tightened energy efficiency guidelines for new federal buildings and handed out tax incentives for making homes and buildings more energy efficient, failed to receive the 60 votes it needed to overcome a Republican filibuster. So why did a bipartisan energy bill with a lot of support suddenly end up DOA? Well, it's because Republicans refused to vote for the bill because Democrats didn't meet their hostage-taking demands to include a vote on the Keystone XL pipeline in the bill. Instead of giving in to Republican demands, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid used a parliamentary move to block Senate votes on the pipeline as part of the energy bill. And while the Keystone XL pipeline project remains stalled in Washington, new information obtained by the Republic Report suggests that one of the pipeline project's major consulting firms may have violated ethics laws. Joining me now for more on this new Keystone controversy or scandal is Fang, the co-founder of Republic Report and author of the book The Machine, a field guide to the Resurgent Right. Lee, it's great to see you again. Welcome back.
Tom, thank you so much for having me. Nice to see you as well.
Thank you. So what is Fever Press?
Fever Press is a consulting firm that does public relations and other political work for assorted clients. Through a public records request I filed in Canada, I found that this firm, Fever Press, was one of many firms tapped by the Alberta government to promote the Keystone XL here in the United States.
So is there something inherently wrong with that or illegal about that?
Well, no. Any foreign government can engage in policy campaigns, lobbying campaigns here in the United States. However, they simply have to register their activities with the Department of Justice. It's a law called the Foreign Agents Registration Act. It dates back to 1938 when the Nazi government was found to be spreading propaganda here in the United States to kind of keep the United States out of World War II. That law is still on the books, and it simply requires agents of foreign governments to register and disclose their activities on a regular basis. So my story shows that out of all the consultants that were hired by Alberta, most of those consultants registered with the Department of Justice, but this one PR firm, Fever Press, failed to disclose and failed to register, which suggests a violation of the law.
Why did they do that?
It's a good question. I reached out to both the Alberta government and this PR firm, and the Alberta government said it's not their fault. They were hoping that their consultants here in the United States would abide by any applicable law. When I reached out to Fever Press, they said they would get back to me, and they still have it on.
What kind of work were they doing?
Well, they were helping book Alberta officials onto media programs on MSNBC and CNN and getting them interviews in the DC press and trying to gin up a media strategy for public support for the Keystone XL. And in memos I obtained through this same records request, this PR firm was hoping to push back against environmentalists who have argued that the Keystone XL would be bad for the environment and would explode emissions.
And so where do you see this going? I mean, what's going to come out of this?
I think, for one thing, this is just another data point that proponents of the Keystone XL are spending millions of dollars, most of it undisclosed, to promote the pipeline. And it's not just TransCanada, the maker of the pipeline. It's oil refineries in Texas. It's the Canadian government. It's some of these other tar sands companies that would like to gain access to oil sands in Alberta. And second, I think the story could result in some major fines and other type of reprimands to this firm for failing to comply or potentially failing to comply with the law.
Yeah. I've seen reports that the Koch brothers or companies associated with them are significant owners of some of that Canadian land where the tar sands are going to come from and significant owners of refineries where it's going to end up down on the Gulf Coast. Is that true?
Well, the Koch brothers, through their firm Koch Industries, is one of the largest American leaseholders of tar sands up in Alberta. They're not the largest per se. The Suncor and some of these other Canadian firms are the biggest. But they do hold an incredible share of land that could be developed as tar sands. And as many have argued, the Keystone XL will rapidly accelerate the development of this land and make their investments more worthwhile. That being said, they also benefit from the cheap kind of clogged oil in the Midwest because they own one of the largest refineries in Minnesota. Yeah. Many have pointed out that the Keystones the Koch brothers have been pushing the Keystone XL through their various advocacy groups like the American
you're freezing up. Lee, we're flat out of time, but thank you so much, Lee Fang, for the great investigative reporting you're doing.